Hey there, and welcome to the BusinessNET Facebook Mastermind Case Study Series. I'm so excited because I have a very special guest with me here today, and his name is Ian Davies. Hi, Ian. How are you?
Hi, Esther. How you going?
Good, good. So, Ian, for people who are meeting you for the very first time, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yep. A quick rundown of my background. About 20 years in corporate and franchise life in the senior ranks. And then over the last 15 years, I've owned a whole range of businesses with my wife and a couple of JVs and that in there as well. So I've currently got 3 companies and a not-for-profit organisation that we have. But my history's really been more of a startup focus and managed the processes for about well over 100 store openings around the country in franchise retail. Basically, I'd say I'm more of a setup specialist, and I roll out growth strategies and get immediate sales. So that's kind of what my background's been for a long period of time. Some of the companies we've got now, the main one, which is owned by my wife, is a personalised giftware business that sells solely online, and it sells about 3,000 orders per month that are physically packed and sent, and about 5,000 a month in peak seasons. So it's quite extensive in the mail order system in Australia, and it'd be the largest in Australia. And I know of one in the US that would be larger, but we've got some world first printing technologies in place there. A lot of trade print stuff, corporate promotions for the larger scale businesses that we deal with. So that's one business, and then another one's it's a bit different. You'd know it as called KT Tape, which is the sports strapping athletic tape. A gentleman I know owned the rights to it and in Australia, but he didn't know how to get it into the large retail. So I teamed up and took over the running of that one and set it up on our own system. Mm-hmm. And supplying the large retail sporting chains, which is like Rebel Sport, and even got it into the Woolworths market, which are a bit hard to deal with. But it's a high volume, small margin business. But my favourite baby is what I'd call is my digital tactics, which is we've owned that for the last 2 or 3 years, again from a startup, which was built with the focus was really on the social media side to drive our other online businesses, and it evolved into websites, and then it evolved into the marketing that we're doing for other people, and so we've branched out to. I've got some very, very talented staff members working with me in that regard, and so I've got the business experience and they've got the skills online, so it's just worked very well for us in that regard. So, but basically, yeah, so that's what we do there. Now, I'd say the prior experience has really exposed my skills into the business strategy, and now into the lead generation stuff, thanks to the Mastermind group that we do.
And so you mentioned that you've been in business for many, many years. You helped 100 franchise businesses get set up, and then all the other industries that you mentioned as well. What made you intrigued enough to really want to participate in a mastermind to help you grow the business that already existed prior to that in the realm of lead generation?
Certainly, because I found that the businesses that I'm involved with, they always started up, get sales. That's very simple in my world to make that happen, to get things growing, and easy to get them up to 500 grand or $1 million mark in sales. But then, like 90% of businesses, and I've seen this in the franchise environment, I've seen it across all segments of business, you get to a point where the growth stagnates. And that's happened on multiple companies that I've been involved with and seen. So it was actually, I've been working with Ben since April last year on some various things, and what generated my interest was taking that $1 million business to get it up to a $5 million business, so that the resale and exit strategy becomes far more profitable when I get to that point. Mm-hmm. So realistically, I could get it up to $1 million, and then it would stagnate. So I'd throw some money into new equipment, some more people, that type of thing. Sales will continue to grow, but the profits stay the same because you've got all these other expenses, and you need to grow your team, grow your space, all that type of thing. Most of my businesses are also product-based businesses, not just service-related. So basically what I wanted was the guidance to break through the $1 million barrier, to get it up to a 5 million one. So I've done many other trainer programs from $1,000 to $3,000, in value type of thing, in various segments. I've worked with B&I groups. I've done some high-level CEO stuff in private groups who run $20 million businesses, but none of them come even close to what I can achieve out of what tapping into Ben's skills have got. So to me, it was to join the mastermind was the smartest move I've ever made in hindsight. So I'm very happy with it.
How long have you been a member in the mastermind?
I joined in January when it kicked off, just after it kicked off in January. So 6 months in now. It has been an extremely beneficial part of my business, and I'd actually say out of all the stuff I've done over 30 years in my working time, that it is probably the most beneficial training and most comprehensive that I've actually done and participated in my working life. And I've done some pretty cool stuff with some of my things in the background.
I love that. Can you talk to me a little bit about some specific examples of what your business looked like before you joined, and then what were some of the changes now that you're implementing the strategies you're learning from Ben?
Yeah, I focused back in on rather than the business leading the direction of where it would take me, because we'd get inquiries on something and we'd say, yeah, we can do that. And we'd do that, and then that would snowball from referrals into a different market. So what I was able to do is I really took it back to what I want to produce and what I want to actually sell. But I've also focused in significantly in like mastering, or not mastering, but working significantly better to generate better results in those fields. And we've got some good examples of that. So it's enabled me to really sell the parts of the business, or the parts of the services that that I want to sell and that I want to be associated with, and setting up some 90-day plans. Executed 2 lots of them this year already, so that's worked well. We're already planning out what we want to achieve in the next 90 days. So that type of focus has really been paramount to making this happen.
So it sounds like it's very strategic. You're able to eliminate some parts of the business that you don't want to do and you don't want to develop. And then there are other parts that make sense to focus on, and you're able to set that up in a way that it will really catapult you to that $5 million mark.
Absolutely. And I would actually say that our own website, so we do websites and that type of stuff, but my own website has dramatically changed over the last 6 months as well. Just so that it was more targeted to selling the products that I want to sell. It's not just a, hey, we can do everything type of operation. It's more of, we are email marketing specialists and have been for a long time. We build sites that convert traffic, not just look pretty. So that's realistically, that's type of business that we've built based from some of the key learnings from the mastermind. It's not only just about the Facebook side of things, but the whole business structure and the way to add value to our clients and to our own business has made me have a rethink. Probably March, April, I instigated a lot of this, and it's starting to flow through quite nicely now.
Mm-hmm. And so you mentioned that because you're learning so many new strategies that you're able to not only implement in your business, but also help your clients with, for example, through the email marketing services that you offer. Can you talk to me a little bit about the results there, what you've been able to accomplish using these strategies that you learned in the mastermind for your clients?
Yeah, so let's give you a couple of examples. One of my good ones, which is featured for us, is a kitchen renovation company. It's realistically a building company that specialises in the kitchen market, and it's a local business to where we are, and it was a medium-sized one, but basically we were able to generate leads for them to a point that they have actually asked us to slow down on the leads.
That's a good problem to have.
It's the nicest problem I've ever faced, and it makes me smile. But the other side of the coin for our business is that I'm now dealing with a franchise chain in other regions to take on, because I now know how to execute the leads and what cost I'll get them for, and how that market works. And this is one of the key things from the Mastermind, is that I've established my costs and my business model in this particular market, and then I've been able to take it beyond the local, because I won't sell leads against this guy locally. That's just not ethical. So I'll take it to other markets in Australia where they're not operating, and start to sell some leads in that particular area. So that's starting to work for me as well.
So fantastic. So you've been able to use the research that you've done for one client and really taking that IP, that intellectual property, what you cooked up in your work for them, and then utilize it for yourself in another market, not competing with them, but then adding extra revenue for your own business.
Absolutely, and that's what it's about. It's we generated the concept to make it work, and now we should benefit in on the ability to turn it into additional sales for our business, because we know that market. So, and that's one of the beautiful things of what we can do, from what we can do basically. So another one, which is one of the key ones I learnt on, which is good, which is a car audio installation. It's a guy with 5 teams of installers, just installing the decent end of the car stereo market, and he services a lot of the chains who sell that type of stuff, and who don't have their own fitting teams. But basically, the deal was about 100 leads per month is what we had to generate for him, which would fill his team's schedule. So they were only working about 70% of their capacity. So 100 leads, if they converted a bunch of them, which they're converting above what we discussed originally. But basically, he gets another 10 installs per week for his team. So
what does that mean in terms of sales for them?
In profit, that adds somewhere between 6,000 to 8,000 per month. Now, this is a single sole trader operator with a bunch of guys doing the installs. So he's going to clear another 60 to 80,000 a year, and that's after my costs or after all costs. And so just to run his teams and to fill their capacity. So that's worked quite well.
Beautiful, yeah.
And that's
And what about your business? You mentioned that you're setting up these 90-day plans to set you up to where you are able to sell the company. But as for right now, how have your sales or number of clients have grown over the past 6 months since you're implementing these strategies?
Significantly. It's hard to say, because in the digital business, which is the websites and that type of stuff, we just set an internal goal of that our lead generation we'd sell 1 to 2 websites a week. So we're on track with that, but we need to expand our team and resources to make that happen down the track as we start to build some stuff that's in a larger scale. So that's been achieved, and we'll maintain that from here on in, and I can turn that on and off as I need to, based on what we've learned from the Mastermind.
Yeah.
But the major breakthrough I've had for which is taken about 3 months to generate. About April, all this training, after the first 3 months, it really started to click for me. Once we've done actually module 4, that kind of set me in motion and triggered it all, started to come together for the promotional business in a section that we're working on. So I've tried this for a while in the last 12 months, and the way I was setting it up, the structure would take time and labour and costs, and it really wasn't a massive winner. But now with automating everything, generating significant amounts of leads in this particular market, it's in the fundraising market, and we know how to make that work. And that's it's been very, very good. It's a very long funnel process because there's people need committee meetings and approvals and purchase. But basically, we've been able to significantly, implement into our business massive amounts of leads that are converting at, it's about 1 in 2 are converting. So it's the conversion rates are very, very good
That's
for us.
amazing. Yeah,
And that's
50%.
based on, and as Ben talked about in the program, that let the offer and the funnel do the heavy lifting for you. And that's what we've done. It executes very well. The auto-responding sequence is very specific, and by the time they go through the funnel and with the interaction we do with them over the phone, the process is just coming out to massive success. So the longer term of that, this program alone will instigate, where I talked about that 1 million to the 5 million mark, we should be able to add about 2 million in sales in 12 to 18 months just from this one program alone, that we've developed and implemented over the last 3 months. Now I've seen the results flow through. We know what we're going to earn out of it. Their lifetime value has, by analysing everything earlier in the year, we've significantly improved the lifetime value and repeat purchase and the whole system. And the beautiful part is it's actually a fundraising product, so a lot of the charities and not-for-profits out there will actually benefit from raising more money in a way that's not seen before. And I can also make it international, so it's all set up now. I've always just been Australia only. It actually can be an international system. That's
fantastic. Well, that's really exciting, because not only do you see a clear path, but you're also able to explore completely new territories in a way that using a model that has been proven in your home market in Australia and then take it worldwide. That's amazing.
Yeah, it certainly work.
I'm really curious. You mentioned that you took a lot of other programs and coaching programs and other type of educational programs where you would get some help with developing your business, but none of them really compared to the BusinessNET Mastermind. And I'm wondering what the key differentiator is that made you really say that this is something that is actually helping you get to that 5 million where you can sell the company.
It's astronomically different to a lot of the online courses. It's watch some videos, do this, and follow these templates that are in these programs, because they build to sell to don't want to have to deal with you once you're signed up. You're just kind of forgotten about, and you just go through the process. So that's typical training that I've seen for years. Not my style, but the interaction in the Facebook group by Ben is ridiculous. He makes me laugh a bit, because he is always available 7 days, day or night. He'll sit there and pop up with a message when the rest of the world's sleeping.
Right, I noticed that.
Yeah, so you're pretty much the same as well with that, actually. But no, basically, and it's. There's the no bull, no, I'm not going to muck around with the words. It's a straightforward approach, which is, he'll tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, and that's the way I like to work. I don't like the fluffy stuff, and basically, the interaction and the amount of training, the consistent webinars, which I don't get on the front of very much, but I'll listen to everyone in the background and contribute when required. But the everyday lessons and learnings. The other members in the group, a classic example would be Michael from the US. I learned a beautiful thing from him in a sales technique that I've actually implemented into a sales approach that's worked for me here.
Ooh, so tell us, what is it?
Well, it was actually, it's at a high-end audio, that's a home installation audio business. So it's a custom hi-fi for home installations. It's kind of a pet little thing of mine. But I've known some people who do this type of stuff, and these are the 50,000 plus installations. It's for your home theatres and that. So I actually generated some leads and took them to business and said, well, I've got four clients who need these quotes done, so from there we built the conversation. I don't want to give away too much in here, but yeah, we built the relationship from that, and he serviced these people, and so therefore we now generate leads, and we're looking at a larger deal structure, and that's came from watching a 3 or 4 minute video that one of the guys from the States put up, and so that's Michael. I owe him a few beers because that's gonna earn me some coin for a long time.
I love it. So you talk quite a bit about the accessibility of Ben and getting those strategies, but it sounds like you're also getting a lot of value from being able to access the group, the Facebook group, and the knowledge of the other members. And I noticed certainly that you're also contributing a lot to when other people are having questions. And if there is something that you've experienced yourself, you are always very, very generous with giving your advice and your knowledge. And I'm wondering, what does that feel like? What kind of impact does that make on your business besides taking away specific strategies? What is that like to have a community where you're able to have that back and forth kind of team members, almost external team members for your business?
It's actually quite valuable, to be honest, because the B&I groups, you meet once a week and you share leads and trying to bond and do that relationship side of things. And network marketing is a different process again, but basically this is, you can ask you can ask specifics. You can ask if you haven't, if you need answers to certain things. Generally, you'll get answers within the group and different perspectives, because the group is an international base that has all different business models, and we've all got our own interests at heart. There's very little overlap from one person to the next. So. If you were asking for something, I'd give you my honest opinion of what I would see that as, and I ask for the same thing in return. So basically, it's just that it's a non-hype, no bullcrap group, and it just works. And it's very the key learnings. There's lots of stuff that I've got in my notes that I take from it that are not just from Ben. It's from the other people in the group. Because the other part is that we know that everyone who's in the group is committed to bettering their business, and everyone wants to achieve results. And so if people are wanting to achieve results, I'll definitely dedicate some time to assist wherever I can. I'll stay quiet on the topics that I'm not the expert in or don't know anything about. But if there's other topics that are that I think I can add value to help, I will then make comments. So, and I see that floating around the group consistently.
Absolutely. And so if somebody is watching this video right now and they're thinking about joining, they're maybe a little bit on the fence, what would be your advice to them?
You just have to work out a way to do it. Now, we're all busy. Everyone says that, and we've all got the same amount of time each day. It's a matter of the value that comes out of this program. It's easy to say in hindsight before you sign up, and all talk. You just need to talk to Ben and understand that the opportunity to take your business a significant leap forward, or to change your direction and change your own earning capacity, is well within reach in a few short months into the program. So that's what I would see as one of the key messages that people need to overcome. It's like if you're going to spend 10 grand on a Yellow Pages ad, or on a direct mail marketing campaign, or doing some other things, revise those strategies, find the money, invest into this program. I truly believe before the end of the first month that we got enough value out of this program to warrant the entire cost of the course. So don't tell Ben too much about that now, but the course is worth triple what he charges. And the value that we'll gain over the course of this year is something we will have for the rest of our lives. And I see that as the significant learning that it's priceless. So it doesn't matter what the cost is, find a way to make it happen, because where you'll end up at the end of it is a significantly better place.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ian. I really appreciate so much your time and energy and experience, everything that you shared with us here today. Thank you.
No problem at all. Thanks, Esther.